Hi, my name is Henrique Schneider, and I'm going to present on labor and artificial intelligence. In this brief presentation, I'm going to expose you to some of the preliminary results of research I've been conducting in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. As you might have noticed, I myself work in Germany. Nordakademie is a German institution, it's a German university, and I live in Switzerland. And the three German-speaking countries in Europe, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, they like comparing each other, and that's what I'm doing. I'm comparing the state of artificial intelligence in these three countries with a focus on labor. So I am researching two questions. Does the employment of artificial intelligence lead to the outplacement of human workers? And how does the employment of artificial intelligence affect the remuneration of human workers? Again, today, this will be some preliminary results. At the end, I'm going to tell you what else there is to do. Let me first go back to the research so far, to the state of research in the field, and then my hypothesis. Well, as economists go, there are diverging opinions. I have here grouped three different states of researchers in the group, the more AI, the less jobs. This is empirical evidence, for example, for the US. Frey and other people in 2017 estimated that AI and digitization is going to eliminate 47% of jobs. For Germany, we have 12% minus, according to Bonin, and according to Arms, minus 12%. Don't forget, I need to take more Germany into account because that's the largest economy I am looking at. Then, of course, there is the group of the more AI, the more jobs, which is again Arndt's estimating plus 1% per year, and Gregory plus 11%, and Kretz just plus. Kretz cannot produce a number. And of course, there is the group that says AI has no impact at all. Notably, in the US, you have to look at Acemoglu and other people. What are the hypotheses I think of? I am going to test the more AI, the more jobs, and the more AI, the higher the wages for these jobs. How did I conduct? I still am. How am I conducting this research? Right now, I am halfway through with Germany and Switzerland. This is a company level research, so not planned company level. It's focusing on the second sector, manufacturing. The companies receive a Likert scale questionnaire with some open questions. It's an online questionnaire, it's self-declaratory, and there is no way of checking how good the results are. I contacted 500 companies in Germany, and 96 responses is what I got. In Switzerland, I contacted 150 companies and got 52 responses. What are the preliminary results? One of the most important questions, of course, is, do you employ AI? There is a definition on AI that I give to them. It's an inclusive list of activities, of things companies can do that count as AI. And if they respond yes, they continue in the questionnaire. If they respond no, they drop out. Here you have that most companies respond no. Those who respond yes are around 40%, a little bit more in Germany than in Switzerland. Did you lay off workers because of AI is one important question. Apparently no, it's around 100%. In Germany, some, I think it's 2%, laid out workers because of AI. It's something that they declared. In Switzerland, no one laid out workers because of AI. I think one company said that it doesn't know. Did you replace workers because of AI? Here the picture starts to change. In Germany, there is a higher amount. It's still the majority did not, but in Germany there is a higher percentage of those companies that claim to have replaced workers because of AI. There is also in both in Germany and in Switzerland the non-account. The thing becomes more interesting with the question by how much have you increased your investment on AI in the last 3 years? This was conducted in 2020, so looking back 3 years is 2020, 19, and 18. And here you have the approximate percentage of the increase of investment in AI in these 3 years. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and more. And here you have the percentage of companies in each category. The interesting thing is that among those companies claiming to have AI, there is a pretty good spread of how much AI they did invest in. You can group it a little bit like this. Germany seems to be somewhat more reticent in terms of numbers. There is investment. There is even more investment. If you look, more firms are interested in investing. But the investment they have is on the lower bound, so 5 and 10% dominate. In Switzerland, it's different. In Switzerland, it's less groupable. You have the highest percentage. 30% of companies claim to have increased their investment on AI by 20% in the last 3 years. But then you have also those who are slowly getting into the market, 5 and 10%. At the same time, it's the same 3 years, by how much has your workforce been expanded? So it's in the same time frame that they are investing in AI, how do they expand their workforce? And here we have a somewhat important difference between Switzerland and Germany. In Switzerland, there is more focus. There is less expansion of workforce, and in Germany, the expansion of workforce seems to be more or less equally distributed among the 1 to 3%. So at the same time that there is an investment in AI taking place, there is an investment there is an expansion of workforce. In Switzerland, there is a somewhat stronger investment in AI than there is an expansion of workforce. In Germany, the expansion of workforce and investment in AI seem to be a little bit more synchronous. And here is the question of the payroll. By how much has your payroll been expanded in the last 3 years? The same picture than we had before with the workforce we have here. So the expansion of payroll in Germany seems to be more equal or more equally spread than in Switzerland. The same correlation applies here. There is investment in AI and there is expansion of payroll. There is investment in AI and there is expansion of payroll. Very basically, what did we find so far? Hypothesis cannot be rejected. So where there is investment in AI, there is an increase in workforce. But if you look more in detail to the data, you will find out it is in productive capacities, but also in overhead. It doesn't mean that all AI lead to more production. It can also be that the overhead expanded. And then the second hypothesis, where there is investment in AI, there is an increase of payroll. And this means also, if you look into the data, in the mean payments and in the median payments too. But these results are not very significant. If you look at the correlation between AI expansion expansion of workforce and expansion of payroll, you will see that it's not very significant. The correlation between all these three is around 0.5, with at a significance interval of 68%, which is 1 sigma, which is too low to really withstand rigor. There is, however, clearer results in the significance for Switzerland than for Germany, but we cannot say that they are mutually dependent. They can be both dependent on something else. They might be correlated effects of the same cause, namely the growth of the company. Companies that are growing anyway have means to invest in AI, and companies that are growing anyway expand their workforce and payroll. What comes now? I will organize workshop with these companies, with C-level executives, so chief executives of these companies, to discuss what I have found out, and I have to expand the sample to Austria because the goal of the research is compare the 3 large German-speaking countries. However, even at this stage, we can say that there will be new questions to be asked. So what are the consequences of, if it is true that there is an expansion of AI and workforce, if it is true that the hypothesis cannot be rejected, that they go hand in hand, what does that mean for the skill set of laborers? How did that change? And how do the jobs change with AI? This is a summary of what I've done so far, and I'm looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.